Today on DC News Now, the unseasonable heat continues when we could see some storms pop up across the region. Also, new updates emerge after a chaotic shooting at a senior skip day. And get ready for your next grocery run with our exclusive price check. We're stretching your dollar with some big savings. And college protests heating up across the country with DC students holding out for another day. We're tracking the movement.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hey, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, Sunday, warm. Monday, warm. Will it be 3 in a row?
Dare we even say hot on Monday, my friend? That was another level yesterday as we saw most of the region push 90 degrees. We did set a few records yesterday. It doesn't look like we'll quite get to that point today, but nonetheless, this heat, it is sticking around for a little while longer. Check it out. The few locations that did set new records back on Monday include out into Sterling there at Dulles. The airport, 91 was the high temperature. The old record, 89 back in 2017. And most of those records you found across the region were set back in 2017, including in Damascus, Maryland there. So yes, Damascus, Luray, Warrenton also joined the list of new records, but not on this list. DC, we stayed below the 90-degree mark within the district. Baltimore jumped up into the 90s, though, as well, just up the road. So, yeah, we had that heat widespread across much of the DMV yesterday, but here we are as we enter into the afternoon hours today. Oh, it's not quite as hot just yet. Temperatures have only made it up into the lower 80s across much of northern Virginia into north central Maryland. We still have some locations, though, like Winchester, and then back over toward D.C., still in the 70s. So that slower pace already here in this early afternoon goes to show that by the end of the day, we're not likely to run into the 90s or make a run at any new records, but mid to upper 80s certainly possible. And as we get later in the afternoon, we are expecting showers and storms to develop across the mountains and then move west to east through the DMV as we head toward the evening time. So where exactly should we expect those storms to be at any point later on this evening? And could any of those storms be on the strong side? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, warm temperatures expected to sweep across the DMV once again today, and some people say that they are really uncomfortable because they don't have running AC in their apartment buildings. According to DC law, heating equipment shall maintain a temperature no less than 68 degrees from October 1st to May 1st. And some residents say that's too far away when temperatures are expected to once again reach into the 80s. Residents are now circulating a Change.org petition to review timeframes based on current local climate conditions and change the mandate to enable ACs to run earlier.
Seems a little silly to not be able to say, hey, we know we had this May 15th date, temperatures are rising, it's getting a lot hotter a lot earlier. Let's just make it May 1st instead for air conditioning to be available.
The soonest relief could come for the residents is tomorrow, but buildings have a deadline of May 15th, so people could be left without AC for at least another 2 weeks. Well, drivers beware, you may see more police officers ticketing on those roads who violate traffic laws as part of the Street Smart spring campaign. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala is in Falls Church, where police are upping their enforcement to keep the roadways safe.
Fairfax County Police will be ticketing drivers here who violate traffic laws. Unsafe drivers will be fined up to $500, or they could see points on their record. So slow down and pay attention to the roads. 115 people were killed by drivers in the metropolitan D.C. area last year when they were walking and biking, according to police. That's a 17% decrease from the year 2022, but police say there's still a long way to go. They say pedestrian and bicycle deaths account for more than 30% of all traffic fatalities in the region. Police are increasing their enforcement of speed limits, stop stopping for pedestrians in crosswalks and passing cyclists with at least 3 feet of clearance. They will also use the Street Smart campaign period to educate drivers on the deadly consequences of breaking traffic safety laws. Arlington mother Helen Harris was hit by a truck while pushing her daughter in a stroller in Roslyn, Virginia. She had to have her leg amputated.
It took me a couple of months, I want to say maybe 4 to 6 months before I was able to cross the street again. It wasn't something that I was comfortable with. I think that one of the lessons that I would like people to learn from my story is for people to know to be more aware of the importance for streets to be safe.
Now the Street Smart campaign runs until May 19th. For now, in Falls Church, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Liberty, thank you. A bill to make the youth curfew a national harbor law is being proposed at the county council meeting today, and it would permanently ban anyone under the age of 17 who is alone from the area starting at 11:59 Friday night to 5 a.m. weekdays on weekends. Pardon me. The curfew would also include weekdays starting 10 p.m. through Sunday 5 a.m. Thursday.
I'm okay with it. If they test it out and it seems like, people are able to color in between the lines and it's creating a reduction, in crime and just, mischievous behavior, then absolutely it's worth implementing on a permanent basis.
The county council expected to make a final vote on the proposed bill in May. Greenbelt police released a new video showing the moment gunfire broke out at a senior skip day event earlier this month. That shooting injured 5 teenagers. Well, now 2 teenagers, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old from Bowie High School, are facing attempted murder charges. Both are being charged as adults. People living in the area are calling for more to be done to keep kids out of trouble.
How to get those guns? I mean, it's, again, 14, 16-year-olds. I just don't know how you get a hold of a gun at that age.
More after-school programs would be nice, investing in the kids. Let them know it's a different option that they can choose. Don't have to choose violence.
Well, city and county leaders say that they're working to tackle truancy. Meantime, cameras and license plate readers are being deployed around the city. Loudoun County school leaders want to hear from you as they work through new recommendations to improve your student safety. Our Northern Virginia reporter Max Marcillo walks us through the potential changes coming to LCPS and how you can weigh in.
This is Spence sitting with the Blue Ribbon Panel, a group of school security leaders, administrators, and some law enforcement and mental health providers. Their goal was to review what LCPS is doing to keep students safe and analyze what more can be done. Among the notable proposals, beefing up security in elementary schools. The district has 36 school resource officers, 1 for each middle school and high school. Elementary schools only have a designated point of contact. The panel is asking for either an SRO, a safety and security officer, those are unsworn LCPS employees, or staff from a private firm at each of them, but which option is still up for debate.
Looking at the numbers and the personnel and budget and all those kinds of things.
That plus parent and school board feedback could determine who takes that role. There's a similar recommendation for added security at after-school events, and addressing any gaps in public safety radio coverage is also a recommendation. That goes hand in hand with ensuring there's adequate Wi-Fi in every corner of a school building.
We've got big schools, lots of thick walls and things like that, or basements. We want to make sure that we have everything the best of the best available.
With any of these decisions, ensuring the money and staffing is there is crucial. Tonight, a statement from the sheriff's office that says Sheriff Chapman has been a long-standing proponent of strengthening the security of Loudoun's public schools, including the expansion of our school resource officer program.
That was Max Marcillo reporting that the warm temperatures this week have kids in Hagerstown thinking about their summer activities. And the timing worked out perfectly for the Washington County Healthy Kids Day event at the YMCA. It's a way to showcase the neighborhood activities coming up this summer, and that includes the opening of community pools, youth camps at city parks, and the return of minor league baseball.
That's designed for a community to encourage healthy living from a young age. It's all about healthy lifestyles. Healthy living is important to everybody, kids and up.
Well, this year marks the 13th year the Hagerstown YMCA has organized the Healthy Kids Initiative. A bill making its way through Congress could add more flights at Reagan National Airport and make it easier for flyers to get refunds. Lawmakers reached the bipartisan agreement yesterday, and the bill prioritizes airplane safety and growing the aviation force and making the experience more comfortable and accessible for customers. It would also add 5 round-trip flights at Reagan National. Now, if the bill passes, some of the new consumer protections include a clear right to refunds if a flight is canceled or delayed for a significant amount of time, and making airline credits usable for at least 5 years, requiring no-fee family seating to keep your kids with their parents, and tripling penalties for airline violations to hold them accountable. Southwest Airlines is looking at possible changes in its boarding and seating policies. The CEO says that changing customer preferences pushed him to think about a way to do boarding and seating. Unlike other U.S. airlines, Southwest has no first class or assigned seating. However, in the last few years, Southwest began offering early bird fees for customers to move up the boarding line, and this is because customers learned to check in the day before to get the seat they wanted. The airline company says that they will not announce the changes until September. Well, several phone companies are being fined for allegedly sharing their customers' location data illegally. The FCC issued a fine to Verizon, AT&T, as well as T-Mobile and Sprint for a total of $200 million. Largest fine went to the T-Mobile, which acquired Sprint back in 2020 after the FCC started its investigation. Well, the mobile carriers say they plan to challenge the fine. So how much is a shorter work week worth to you? A new survey done by ResumeBuilder.com found that 80% of employees support a 4-day work week, and 1 in 5 people are actually willing to take a pay cut to make it happen. Most of the people surveyed say that a shorter work week improves work-life balance as well as physical and mental health. While many are hoping for fewer days, they also say that they are still willing to work the full 40 hours.